What's up, guys? Guess what day it is? It's friggin' new bike day. See what the box says? We got a brand new YT Tues Core 2 Mullet. Let's open this bad boy up. Alright guys, so we did actually sell the Transition. That was a great bike. I used it 3 times. It served its purpose. In all honesty, I tried to save a few bucks buying a used bike and thought I could get a season out of it, but I'm just a YT kind of guy. So we had to go back to a YT. I had a 2S before. It was a base model. It was awesome. Why not go back to the same bike that started it all for me? This one, however, is carbon fiber and it's a mullet. It's gonna be an awesome park bike. We did not spring for the high-end Core 4 model. For a downhill bike, I really don't think you need all that fancy stuff. And honestly, that top model, if it would have came with carbon wheels, then maybe I would have justified the extra $2,000 that it cost. But for what this bike cost, it was $39.99 with all the shipping and all the fees and all that. It was like $41.32, something like that. This thing was not supposed to ship until August 2nd. It arrived today, July 22nd. So a huge shout out to YT for coming through early. The last 2 bikes I ordered, they both arrived early. So it's definitely awesome. Here's all our parts and stuff. We'll check that out in a minute. But I do love the YTs. I love how they look. I love how they ride. Definitely a big fan. I think the Mullet is going to be a big hit for me personally. Like, all my bikes are Mullets, guys. If you've seen some of my previous videos, my Stumpjumper behind me, I turned that into a Mullet. And we do have a YT Decoy Mx, which is also a Mullet. Which, when I got that, the e-bike, that's when I changed to Stumpy, because it just, for me, it was just, I don't know, more comfortable, easier for me to maneuver. I liked it a lot better. So that's why when we saw this was a Mullet, and you can easily convert this to a full 29er, guys. It's got flip chips. You just buy a rim, buy a tire, and boom, you can go full 29 in this bad boy if you want. So that's pretty cool. But we're gonna get her out of the box and get her on the stand and start assembling this bike. I think we can do this in one piece. Try to bring it right in front of you guys, like that. And then I will get rid of this box, give me some room, get my bike stand set up. All right, let's get this thing unwrapped. So I'm sure most of you guys know YT is direct to consumer. You get a whole lot of bike for the money. So they look great, they ride great. They've definitely gained a lot of popularity over the years. Like I said, my first downhill bike that I bought from a buddy was a YT, and I loved it. And then the following season, we switched to a YT Enduro bike. We got our first Capra Core 4, which was an awesome bike. And then we upgraded that the following season to a Capra Uncaged 11 MX, which was a Mullet, which was pretty sweet. But you guys know I got hurt pretty bad last year, so I just figured I would go back to a downhill bike. I don't know, you got more suspension, you got a little more, I don't know, is a downhill bike safer to ride than an enduro bike? I don't know. Would it have saved me? I don't know, but we've ridden them before, definitely like them. And it's nice having the extra suspension. If you do come up a little short here and there, I mean, obviously, depending on the jump, but in most cases, a downhill bike is gonna take care of you. So they are fun. They're fun to throw around, and I'm definitely excited to try a Mullet setup on a downhill bike. So We do have some goodies for this thing. We got some nice race face Atlas pedals we'll put on. We got some cushcore. We're gonna do tubeless. We won't do that today. We'll do that another day. Maybe I'll make a video, maybe I won't. But we'll definitely put the pedals on today, just so we can kind of pedal it around. YT does a great job with shipping and packaging and all that stuff. So obviously this is my 4th YT bike in, I want to say, 3 years. So we've tried some other brands and we just keep coming back to YT. It's just, I like the YT. It's just, that's just me. Obviously you guys can ride whatever you like. We got rock shocks on this bike, so it's been quite a while since I've ridden rock shocks. I did have, I had a Specialized Enduro bike. I had that before I had my Stumpjumper. I have a couple videos with that bike, but I never actually got that bike to the bike park. If I did, I may have kept it, but when I got the Stumpjumper was just a much better bike for all the trail riding that I do. So we ended up selling the Enduro bike, and then when we did our first rides at the bike parks, we rented bikes. So, and then eventually we got our own. Oh, let's see. So we got a coil in the rear. Hopefully the spring rate will be good. That is one thing I did have to change on my Capra Uncaged 11. I did have to get a stiffer spring for it. So we'll just see how this one does. It's got a really nice, it's like a military green color. Frame's carbon fiber, like I said. The wheels are aluminum. Probably be one of the first things I upgrade. Probably at the end of the season. I might not do it right away. But definitely will get carbon rims for this thing because I'm just really bad with aluminum wheels, especially the rear wheels. I usually destroy them on all my bikes. So we'll see how long these last. These are actually not Crank Brother wheels. These are Sun Ringle. What do they say? Duroc SD. So we'll see how these do. They actually put air in the tires this time, which is funny. Usually they come deflated. But it's got SRAM brakes. It's got SRAM drivetrain. It's got the cheaper SRAM brakes. The DB8s, it looks like. We got, I'm not sure on the bars. I'll let you know what the bars are when I put them on. It's got the E13 chain guide. Real good chain protection on the rear arm, rear triangle. I'm actually pretty excited to go back to rock shocks. I do love the Fox stuff, don't get me wrong. One thing I did like when I did have my Pivot Phoenix, it did have a Fox coil, and I actually really like that coil. Actually, no, what am I talking about? When I had my Capra Uncaged 11, it had a Öhlins coil. So, like I said, we had to get a stiffer spring for that. And then once I did that, like that bike, I could send anything on that bike. And it handled it really, really well. So, we'll just have to do some research on this spring rate and see how close it is for my weight and that stuff. But I guess the big thing I hear about when I had my Specialized Enduro bike, you know, I was just starting out then, so I didn't really know how to mess with suspension. I just kind of followed all the guides that they give you on the charts on the springs. But I've always heard that the rock shocks are kind of easier to get dialed in. There's less stuff to mess around with, so that makes it a little easier. Like the Fox factory stuff is very nice, but they got a lot of stuff you can adjust between high and low compression, high speed and low speed rebounds, and all that stuff. So there's a lot going on, and it can take a little more time to get that dialed in. So with these, it's just, I'm thinking it's just compression and rebound, and then the air, and that's it. It looks like that's all you got. Your compression on the top. Should have a rebound on the bottom. Yeah, we got a rebound knob on the bottom. So we'll see. We'll see how these do. Let me get these bars out of the way. Hopefully you guys can see that color coming through. It looks really, really nice. Really, really nice. With the black fork, like I like the black fork. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't gonna spend $6 grand on a downhill bike, especially without coming with carbon wheels. I think for that price, it should have carbon wheels. I know back in the day, some of them used to, and they were right around that price, but we can always upgrade that later. And then we'll see on the brakes. Maybe we'll upgrade the brakes, maybe we won't. We'll see how they do. They might be fine. They might not be, but looks like we got race face handlebars and clamp. Definitely digging the color of this thing. It looks really good with the black accents. All the black parts really stands out. So this is a medium, guys. I'm 5'6", so I fall right between the measurements for a medium. Basically all my bikes are medium, so it's got really good protection in the back. There's some clear film right here. There's clear film all around the rear triangle, which is nice. Outside, a little bit on the inside right here. And on the front, it has a nice piece under the belly of it with the nice giant YT logo, which looks sweet. It's got a real nice skid plate under here, which is nice. All right, one more. I want to say two more pieces of cardboard, and we can get the tires on here. We don't need this. All right, let's get the front wheel on. So this bike has Assegai tires on the front and the rear, which I'm going to definitely change the rear soon. I actually tried to get one online quickly, but they weren't the size that I needed. Nobody had them in stock, so. But I'll ride this one for now. It's going to probably wear out pretty quick. Finally, too, in their new bikes, at least for this year, that I noticed, the cable routing where they go into the frame, they don't have. I'm not a fan of the rubber things like they have on the Decoy and they had on my previous Capra. The rubber always moved around and never kind of sat inside the frame. Now I'll bring you guys in after, but now it's just the hole with, like, it looks like it has like a rubber bushing that's inserted in it, so it's definitely a cleaner look. We got our fork protectors right there, which is nice. And this bike is fairly light, guys. It's not that heavy. I think it was 35 pounds, I want to say. I'll have to just double check that, but it's not super heavy, which is nice. All right, we'll get the rear wheel in here. Throw our pedals on. We're gonna have to do a little research on the shop to see what kind of weight they recommend. I mean, these rotors look giant. What do we got on here? 220s. Holy crap. 220 millimeter rotors. I've never had rotors that big, I don't think. I'll show you guys these. These are sweet pedals, man. I'm really liking these. Now YT does give you a bunch of tools. We'll show you that in a minute, but we already have our old YT tools from our previous bike. So instead of breaking open that box, I kind of keep that box the way it is, just in case. I know I said, you know, I'm gonna keep this bike for a while, but you never know. We might sell it, we might not. Well, I like to keep everything packaged up just in case, because while I might not sell this bike, eventually we're going to upgrade the e-bike, so we can just use that for that, and then we have everything nicely packaged that we can give to a new owner, which is nice. I should probably get some crank protectors. I might have some, I'll have to look. The only good things, guys, is I'm not gonna be able to ride this bike for probably at least 3 weeks. So we'll get the last couple bits for it and we'll put them on in one shot. Like the cushcore, show you guys, we got the cushcore set, MX set. Yeah, there's one, there's two. Feels about right. 3 and 4. Something that's new in the box. I don't know if it's new for this year, but we've never gotten one of these. They give you an air pump. It's pretty nice. I mean, I don't know, I'll have to test that out. It's not bad. That's all adjustable. This comes out and moves around. Not bad, YT, not bad at all. But the tires are full of air, so we really don't need that just yet. All right, so we got our pump. So it does come with the normal tools. It comes with a Allen, it comes with a torque wrench, it comes with the pump, both pumps, shock pump, tire pump, and their torque wrench, which is decent. It looks like they give you, they give you extra, I'm guessing these are for the forks, stops, but you have these on the frame. So these might be for different bikes that don't have those on the frame, I guess. And then they give you some real boring stuff in here. We're not going to use any of that. Reflectors and stuff. Show you guys the tokens. That's for the front fork. It fell out, but they do give you the wrench for the pedals. That was right there. So the wrench for the pedals, the Allen. Pretty good setup. So that's how that comes. All right, I'm gonna just take a second and read through the RockShox fork and just see what I need to do for air pressures. All right, guys, we got pretty much everything buttoned up. I did have to just trim the seat tube a little bit because in the lowest setting, it was like that high, and for me, that was way too high. So I cut about 3 inches off of it. We'll just have to see how the first ride goes. I did ride it outside a little bit, and this felt pretty good. I could just check it with maybe one of my other bikes, but besides that, we set up the front fork, we set up the rear coil. I am gonna order the next size spring just to be safe. I have a little mini stair set of doom in my backyard, so I rolled down that a couple times, and the front fork felt good, but I did bottom out in the rear. So I did adjust the bottom out adjustment. I put that in the halfway position, so we'll see how that does. We really just need to get a ride at a bike park and just see how it feels. The front fork, obviously, we can make any adjustments we need for that to get that dialed in. But the rear does not have any compression adjustment. It just has the bottom out screw and rebound. So I think getting that spring might be a good idea. We'll probably cut the bars down. I usually cut them down to like 780, so we might do that. And then these brakes are not adjustable, so that kind of sucks. We might want to swap these out a little sooner than later. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It's quiet, it looks sweet. I love the color. And that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment. But that's a wrap for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. New bike day is always awesome. So drop some comments, let me know what you think. Make sure you give this a thumbs up, it helps a ton. And we'll see you on the next one, all right? Peace.